Hey guys, welcome back to another video. For today, I have this fall look going on right here, and it's using two different palettes. So from the title, I'm pretty sure you guys know which ones they are, but you probably don't know which one is which on the eyes. So if you guys want to see how I got this look with both different palettes, one high-end and one affordable, please continue watching. Alright, so I do want to create a fall look, and I'm going to be using two different palettes. Most of, if not all of you, might already have this one right here, and this is a Modern Renaissance by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I mean, this is like an iconic palette in everyone's collection. And then for the more affordable, I'm going to be using Wet n Wild Rosè in the Air. Now, these two are so identical to each other. It's mind-blowing how similar, if I can get this open, they look to each other. Don't they look so similar? This one being $42 and this one being $5. Huge price difference. Now obviously this one has more shades, but with this one, I mean, it's really travel friendly as well, and you can create any look with this palette as well. So we're gonna do one eye with one palette and the other with the other palette. I already primed both eyes with the Milani eyeshadow primer, so I did use the same primer for both, and I'm going to be going in with almost the same brushes because obviously it's going to be the same shades but different palettes. I'm going to be going in with my BhCosmetics blending brush. I'm not sure what look I want to go for. I want to do like a cool tone, but then I also want to do a warm tone going into fall, kind of like a transition from summer to fall. So I might just do that. I'm going to go ahead and start with this shade right here from the Anastasia palette. And this is Buon Fresco. Buon Fresco. Buon or Buon? Buon Fresco. I'm going to use that as my transition shade. Now from the Wet n Wild palette, I'm going to be going into this shade right here, which is the dupe to Buon Fresco. So we're going to name it Buon Fresco number 2. And going with the same brush, I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye. This shade is really pretty. It's like a lavender. Very light lilac lavender type of shade. Okay, so I have both shades down already. I must say though that the Wet n Wild is not as pigmented as the Modern Renaissance. I mean, we did get exactly the same going on both eyes. It just took a little bit longer to get that pigment to this color. Alright, so for the next shade, I'm going to go in with a crease brush from e.l.f. And I want to go into... See, I'm still not sure what I want to do. All these colors look so pretty. Okay, I'm going to go into Love Letter, which is this one right here. I'm going to go into Love Letter. Just going to bring that slowly in. I'm bringing it in circular motions. Doing the same thing with Love Letter number 2 from Wet n Wild. I'm going to go in to the other eye. Okay, I think we are getting a little bit of a difference on both palettes. What do you guys think? I think that this side, Modern Renaissance, is just a little bit darker than Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild seems just like a little bit brighter. I don't know. I don't know if it's just my viewfinder or you guys are seeing it. Alright, so let's continue with the look. Next, I'm going to go in with a more detailed crease brush. The first one I used was this one right here. That's for the outer corner. Now I'm using a much smaller brush for the next shade. And I'm going to be going in with, I'm going to go in with Cypress Umber right here to deepen that just a little bit more. I'm going to add that right in the corner, kind of hitting the center. Like I said, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Just wanted to play with the palettes. Next, I'm going to go in with Cypress Umber 2 from the Wet n Wild. This one doesn't seem as pigmented as the other one, but it's the darkest one we have. So go ahead and add that one. Now, I do know it looks a little bit messy right now, but it'll all come together once we add lashes and liner and finish the lower lash line. It is a little bit lighter than Cypress Umber, but it's getting there. Like I said, you just gotta add just a little bit more with the Wet n Wild because the Modern Renaissance is a lot more pigmented than Wet n Wild. But I mean, with patience, you're gonna get it there. Okay, so this look is turning out smoky really quick. I'm gonna go back into Love Letter and just bring out that shade just a little bit more. Just deepening out that outer shade, which was Love Letter. Now going into the Wet n Wild palette. So next, I'm going to be adding a little bit of concealer in the inner corners. I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in Light Ivory. Just going to add a little bit on the inner corner like that. And with a BhCosmetics flat brush, I am going to just spread it. Doing the same thing to the other eye. Adding some concealer and just blending it in. And when I blend it in, I do it very, very slowly. With the flat part of the brush, I create the line up to where I'm going to drag it. And this is a hard part, trying to get it to look the same as the other eye. So it's very important that you look straight into a mirror or you use your angles to see, to get them looking the same. Almost the same, because it's really hard. I'm not using any more product, any more concealer. I'm just blending it in with whatever is left on the brush so it can kind of get that diffused type of look. Now with the flat brush, another flat brush, I'm going to go into Primavera, this one right here, and just place that with tapping motions in the inner corner. Right where I placed that. Look how beautiful that looks. Oh my god. With tapping motions, just placing it where I applied the concealer. It looks gorgeous. I love this shade. And without any more product, I'm just gonna slowly diffuse it into the brown, so it doesn't have a very sharp, like a very sharp transition. So now going into the Wet n Wild Primavera number 2, I'm gonna go into that one with the other side of the flat brush, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Oh, this one also has its pigment. So now I'm just going to clean my under eyes with some wipes that I don't have. I'll be right back. Alright, so just cleaning out the fallout from the shadows. Now I have to admit that the Modern Renaissance palette had a little bit more fallout, but I think that's just due to the concentrated pigment on the shades. This helps to sharpen up those edges and just make the look a little bit more cleaner. Now I'm going to go ahead and continue with my makeup, my eyebrows, everything, and then we'll come back to finish the lower lash line and just finish up the look. Okay, so we're almost done. We just need the lower lash line, but from the viewfinder and the mirror here, I actually don't see a difference. Can you guys? I mean, they both look the same. This one is just, like I said, a little bit brighter, and this is just a little bit more darker. But we know that the Modern Renaissance is just a tad bit more pigmented. So, I mean, I honestly can't tell the difference. It looks really, really similar. Let's just finish up the lower lash line. And for that, I'm going to be going in with this brush by Ruby, which I did get in an Ipsy bag. I'm going to go in with Buon Fresco again and place that right underneath the lash line. Now I'm going to go in with the one from Wet n Wild and just place that underneath as well. You want to bring it quite low because you are going to add the next shade. Now going in with a smaller brush. This is by BhCosmetics, and I'm going to go into Love Letter, which is the next shade that we used, and just going to keep this a lot closer to the lash than the other shade that we used. Now going into Love Letter from Wet n Wild. I mean, I know it's not called Love Letter, but it doesn't have names. I'm just making it up. I'm going to go in, like I said, a little closer to the lash line. Now going into Cypress Umber, I'm going to place that right on the waterline and smear it or smudge it. This one is practically already on the waterline. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the shade from Wet n Wild, and also going to smudge that on the waterline. Now adding some mascara to the bottom lashes. This one is by Maybelline, and this Lash Sensational. Really good. I actually like this one a lot for the bottom lashes. Well, not only for the bottom, but also for the top. Just going to add some mascara. Okay, so really now, which one looks better, guys? Leave it in the comment section, the right or the left side. I mean, you guys saw the whole process. You guys saw that I used the same primer. I also used same brushes. And I mean, the palettes are both very similar. Honestly, the Wet n Wild just looks a tad bit brighter, like I did say, because of the formulation. The Modern Renaissance is just a tad bit more pigmented. But overall, they both performed very well. They both blended out really good. And to be honest, the only difference from these two is a price point. $42 and $5. And you are getting a look so similar that I don't think you can tell the difference. If I didn't tell you guys which palettes I was using, or if I was just doing a different video, you guys would probably think it was the same palette. So that just comes to show you guys don't need to spend on high-end products. Well, some. It depends. But to get a beautiful look. Wet n Wild has been bringing out amazing products, I've got to say, and hand it to them. Alright, so that's going to complete this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it and saw the difference on these two palettes. If you don't have the Modern Renaissance, you can always pick up the Wet n Wild palette and create really beautiful fall inspired looks. And if you guys do recreate this look, be sure to tag me on Instagram. I would love to see your recreations. You guys want to do the Modern Renaissance versus the Wet n Wild, also with the two eyes. I would love to see that. So make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I will leave my handles down below. And of course, I invite you to stay here on my channel, subscribe, and become part of my growing family. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye!